Hey everyone! So if you live in Milton and you're trying to find a dog trainer, you're in the right place. We're going to go through a really simple guide to help you make a great choice for both you and your dog.
You know, one of the best parts of having a dog in Milton is just getting out and enjoying this beautiful area. But whether a day out is relaxing or totally stressful, well, that often comes down to training, doesn't it? A calm, well-mannered dog just makes every single outing better.
And this is what it's all about, right? Being able to take your dog for a nice stroll along the Riverwalk, maybe explore the trails at Blackwater River State Forest, or even just run a few errands downtown without any chaos. When your dog is well-behaved, they can really be a part of your entire life here.
Okay, so the very first step isn't actually finding a trainer, it's figuring out what kind of training you and your dog really need in the first place.
So let's start with a really basic question. What are you actually hoping to accomplish? Are you starting from square one with a brand new puppy? Or maybe you have an older dog who just needs a little bit of help with their leash manners. Really thinking about your specific goals is the most important thing you can do to start.
Take a look at this. These are some of the most common reasons people around here look for a trainer. You see a lot of the basics, like puppy manners and just general obedience. But look, leash pulling and reactivity are also huge concerns. It's kind of helpful to see where your own needs might fall.
And you know, the format really matters too. In-home training is fantastic for tackling behaviors that happen right where you live, like jumping on guests when they come to the door or barking at the mail carrier. On the other hand, group classes are excellent for teaching your dog to focus and stay calm with all the distractions of other dogs and people around.
So, once you've got a good handle on what you need, the next step is actually finding the right professional to help you get there. One of the biggest things to look for is a trainer who uses positive reinforcement. This is the modern, science-backed way to do things. It's all about rewarding the behavior you want to see, which helps build a trusting relationship and honestly just makes learning fun for your dog. It's a huge departure from older methods that were more focused on punishing bad behavior.
Just think about it for a second. You probably wouldn't hire a plumber without checking their qualifications, right? The same idea applies here. Like the slide says, credentials give you a really quick way to compare a trainer's experience, and they're a solid sign of a trainer's knowledge base.
Here are some of the big ones to keep an eye out for. For instance, the CPDT-KA comes from the Certification Council for Professional Dog Trainers, and that means they've passed some pretty tough exams on both theory and skills. And if you're dealing with more serious stuff like fear or aggression, seeing a credential like CBCC-KA is a very, very good sign.
All right, so you found a few trainers who look qualified. Now it's time to get into the practical stuff, like cost, and the really important questions you should be asking before you sign up.
This table gives you a pretty solid idea of average training costs right here in the Milton area. You can see how much the prices can vary depending on what you're looking for. Group classes are usually the most budget-friendly route, while something like a board and train program is obviously a much bigger financial commitment. Think of this as your interview cheat sheet. Before you hire anybody, make sure you ask these 5 questions. Their answers are going to tell you almost everything you need to know about their approach and their professionalism, and it'll help you feel confident that they're the right fit for you and your dog.
So training doesn't just happen in a class or during a lesson with a trainer. The real progress happens when you take all those skills out into the real world, right here in Milton.
First off, it really helps to know the local rules. Here in Santa Rosa County, dogs have to be on a leash in all public areas, and a standard 6-foot leash is generally a good idea. Also, just make sure your dog's rabies shot is up to date, and be mindful that, excessive barking can actually be a nuisance violation. Just knowing these simple rules helps everybody out.
Now for the fun part, putting those new skills into practice. The Milton Riverwalk is a perfect place to work on loose leash walking, and the trails at Blackwater River State Park or the Chain of Lakes Trail, they're awesome for working on focus with all the new sights and smells. These local spots are pretty much your best training grounds.
And that's what this is all about. Putting in the time for good training, it really does open up a whole world of possibilities for you and your dog to enjoy this town together, from all the great parks to the downtown streets.
So good luck with your training. A confident, well-mannered dog makes such a difference. It makes every little thing, from a quiet walk around your neighborhood to a visit with friends, just so much more enjoyable for absolutely everyone involved.